O hey Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edashe Karuna Kari O hey Diya Pada Chaya Shoda He Amai Tomara Charana Dhari Choi Bega Dami Choi Dosha Shodhi Choi Guna Deha Dashe Choi Satsanga Deha He Amare Boshechi Sangera Ashe Ekaki Amar Nahi Paibol Harinama Sankirtane Tumi Kripa Kari Shadha Bindu Deya Deha Krishna Namadhane Krishna Se Tomar Krishna Dite Paro Tomara Shakati Ate Amito Kangal Krishna Krishna Boli Dhaitava Pache Pate O hey Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edashe Karuna Kari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Jnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Shrishtham Manumapi Shachiputram Atraswarupam Rupam Tasya Gajamuruparing Maturim Goshtavartim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivashakam Vitamscha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, as you know, we just sung a song glorifying great devotees. Specifically, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking here in the singular. The whole process of devotional service depends on so many things. Ador Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, beginning with faith and association with devotees. Regarding association of devotees, there are many, many statements throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. Please don't take photos now. You weren't here when I said that. You just came, is it? You didn't follow it. All right. Not all right. Anyway. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mol Hoy Sadhu Sangha. Krishna Bhakti Janme Teho Puna Mukhya Anga. In Chaitanya Charitamrita. You're making a note of that? You're going to make a note of that verse? Is it? You're busily taking out your book? I know. It's all right. It's good if you do. You don't know that one? You want to make a note of it. It's a very important verse, actually. It's not very well known. It's stated that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the very root of Krishna Bhakti, you can understand very easily. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy. The root of that which gives birth to Krishna Bhakti is Sadhu Sangha. And even when Krishna Bhakti has developed, Teho Puna Mukhya Anga, it remains essential, even after Krishna Bhakti has developed. So it's beginning to end. And it's not just when we say Krishna Bhakti, Krishna means Krishna and his devotees. It's not just me and Krishna. That's the neophyte attitude. That's that not seeing. Now, tad bhakteshu chanyeshu, tad bhakta prakrita smritaha. Those who worship Krishna, but they don't see the devotees, they are devotees on the materialistic platform. Krishna is never alone. He's always with his devotees. And we know, especially from Ramanuja, I think many of you are from Tamil background, is it? At least I saw some Tamil writing. The resident is Tamil, yeah. And looks like a little bit Tanjavur style, this painting. Maybe a little bit modern also. Anyway, Sri Ramanuja is very famous for promoting and exemplifying Guru Bhakti, which is part of the whole setup of association with devotees. Now we sung this song, O Hey Vaishnava Thakur, which specifically praying to the topmost devotees who can bestow upon us that which we don't have and which we need to have if we are to be Krishna conscious, such as controlling the 6 urges. This song is interspersed with statements, you know? You're nodding your head. You know what I'm going to say? Choi Begadomi, Chodo Shashodi. Now you know what it is, do you? It's from the Nectar of Instruction, Upadesh Amrita. These the 6 urges which we have to overcome, the 6 faults which we have to overcome, the 6 type of devotional association. So it refers to the Upadesh Amrita. So those things which are desirable and favorable in devotional service, we're praying for that to be bestowed by the topmost devotees. Practically speaking, we see that in devotional society, most are not topmost devotees. Because here in this world, that's why we're in this world, because we're not devotees. Krishna bhuli se jivanadi barhimuk, ataiv mayatare daya samsara duk. We're in this world of suffering because we forgot Krishna. So the great devotees, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they come to this world to pick us up. And we're trying to get up, but in devotional life, we have a long way to go. There may be some Paramahamsas among us, but I'm not one of them. Maybe some of you are, but generally the Paramahamsas don't say they are Paramahamsas. So we're praying to them for their association and their guidance and their mercy. And practically we live among devotees who are trying to get up there, but which means that we're still, when we say Choi Bega Domi, that means we haven't controlled our mind and our senses and our tongue and our urge of anger and our urge of speech. And when we hear descriptions of the topmost devotees, we say, well, that's good, but meanwhile, I'm among all these devotees. We may wonder, is it really good for my advancement to be with them? If they go to the spiritual world, they're going to be like that there? Maybe I don't want to go. We might have such wicked thoughts. We're all in the process, purification. Even neophyte devotees, they're so much more exalted than materialists and even spiritualists who are not Krishna, who are not specifically Krishna conscious. The position of even a neophyte devotee is, speaking in philosophical terms, is more advanced than that of a highly advanced Mayavadi sannyasi, because it's going in the right direction. The Mayavadi sannyasi may be very learned in Shastra, very self-controlled, many austerities, but he's not inclined to Krishna. Whereas a devotee, by definition, is inclined to Krishna. So if we have the attitude that, well, I don't really like to associate with devotees, and I'm not sure if we want to go back to Godhead unless they better get purified quick. Well, what about us being purified? If we have such an attitude, we may ourselves be barred from going there. It's Krishna who decides who goes back to Godhead, who doesn't. We should seek out the association of devotees, especially we are advised to seek out the association of more advanced devotees. But that doesn't mean that we just think that everyone else is useless. We should be so happy to have the association of devotees. Srila Prabhupada sometimes wrote that this Krishna conscious movement is set up to make a society of devotees, Krishna Bhavanamrita Sangha, International Society of Krishna Conscious. Society means the many coming together. Bahubhir militva yat kirtanam iti sankirtanam. Many devotees coming together, chanting, is called Sankirtan. We just sung that. Ekaki amar nahi pai bol harinama sankirtani. Alone, I don't get the strength for chanting. So it's a group effort. Sanghe Shakti Kalo Yoge. In Kali Yuga, we get strength by association. In other ages, well, specifically in the Kriteya Dhyayato Vishnum, in the Satya Yoga, then we'd have to be. Meditation means you don't. Meditation, the meditational process means you don't mix up with others much. You're just alone with your mind, and you're trying to purify it and fix it on Krishna. But in Kali Yuga, we make it's a group effort to make progress. So appreciation of devotees, trying to be free from envy of devotees. There's so many dirty things in the heart. We may not even recognize we have so many dirty things in our hearts which we have to become purified from us, and that association with, interaction with devotees will help. Interaction with devotees means within the process of devotional service. We may think, well, we'll go for a ice cream with the devotees. Let's all go to the ice cream parlor. But it should be Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. And if we get up higher, then also Sakyam and Atma Nivedanam. But association with devotees means specifically within the orb of devotional service. And there may be also, we hear in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes sport in the waters of Narendra Sarovara with his devotees and play games with them in the water. But their main activity was Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and all the activities related with devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't specifically come to this world to play water sports. He did so, but he specifically came to illuminate the process of hearing and chanting about Krishna in the association of devotees. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to have his disciples, if there was some misunderstanding between devotees, they didn't like each other, which happened. It happens even in Krishna Lila, pure devotees. Kritavarma was part of the plot that ended up with Satyajit getting killed. Great devotee. He was also on the other side in the Kurukshetra battle, because he was the head of the Krishna's army, and Krishna's army got donated to Duryodhana, so he was fighting on the other side. So it may happen, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to have meetings for 5 days, and devotees would come together. He would give talks for 5 hours. I'm not going to speak for 5 hours, but he would. And it seemed that devotees in those days didn't suffer from what's it called? Attention deficit, ADS. Everything's got some acronym, right? Attention deficit syndrome. You could sit and listen to him for 5 hours. It's very difficult to listen to him for a short time, because it's very hard to understand what he's talking about. His language is so elevated. But he would also have his disciples speak, and he would specifically have some of them speak praising the devotees who they weren't getting on with. And they'd have to praise their qualities. Interesting process. What about dogs? Let's talk about dogs. That's strange, isn't it? Dogs. Vaishnava Thakur Tomar Koko Boleha Janaha More. Again from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Actually, this song Bhaktivinoda is singing is to Krishna, but Srila Prabhupada used to quote it in relation to Vaishnavas, that I wish to be known, Vaishnava Thakur, again saying the same, oh great Vaishnava, I want to be known as your dog, become the dog of a Vaishnava. And generally dogs in Vedic culture don't get a very high rating, not like in Western culture, where dogs are treated royally. But the dog, for all its being, that's an insult. You dog. You call someone a dog, that's an insult. But Chanakya Pandit has found out his good qualities even in the dog. I didn't learn the verse, so I'll read it out. Bhavashi svalpa santushta sanidro lagu chaitanaha swami bhaktascha shurascha shardete shvanato gunaha. Even though the dog is very hungry, he's satisfied even if given a little, living on a little food, which you see the dogs in India, they just run around on the street and someone throws them a few scraps of food. Sleeping, but they can immediately wake up and be alert. That's another quality. Swami Bhakta, they're very devoted to their master. If they get a master, they're very bravery. And we should learn these qualities, Chanakya said. We should learn from the dog. Now, you can see on YouTube the dogs when their master comes and has been away for a week or so, wagging their tail, very happy. Can we be like that in the association of devotees? Be so happy to meet the devotees. It's just exuberant happiness. What do you call that? What's the word? Unabashed. They're not trying to hide it. They're very, very happy. I used to see it in Bangladesh when I was 20 years old or something, 22 years old I think. 22 years I first went there. And the devotees in the villages are so happy because the whole of Hinduism, quote unquote Hindu, there is, well, the worship of Radha, Krishna and Gaura Nitai, Sankirtan, very strong there. but very cut off from the world, not like nowadays where everyone in Bangladesh they're all internet connected. And they were told by the majority Muslims that, well, Hinduism's dying and the whole world's becoming Muslim, and you should also join us. And the Christian conversion was going on, and they were so happy to see us. It was overwhelming. And the whole villages would come, and they'd just be very, very emotional. And yeah, the whole village wanting to wash your feet, and I'm just a young boy, and I have these elderly men, respectable men coming, and they were very happy. They were happy. They weren't putting on a show. They felt very happy for what we represented, the worldwide movement of Krishna consciousness. So how to maintain that? What's the answer? What is the answer? Well, we can talk about it. It's the same with everything, qualities in Krishna consciousness. Everything comes by Krishna consciousness. Yasyasti bhaktiya bhagavatya kinchana sarvais tatra samasate gunaha. That all good qualities come from Krishna consciousness, but then part of Krishna consciousness is discussing the qualities of great devotees, which inspires us to develop those qualities. And we hear stories from the Puranas, narrations maybe is a better word than stories, because when we hear the word stories, we tend to think of fiction. But we hear of the great tolerance of so many devotees, Prahlad, Ambarish, Haridas Thakur. So it helps us also that if prasadam's 5 minutes late, I don't get too upset. For Ambarish Maharaj, it worked out 1 year late. How about that? And he wasn't disturbed. So we hear these, and it helps us to develop those qualities. So just by talking about it, how actually it's not just associated with devotees, but we should actually be jubilant. Praharshiya shami sanata jivitam, that example that Yamuna Acharya says in relationship to Krishna, but Srila Prabhupada used to explain it in terms of a dog having a master, sanata, as compared to anata, which you all know it means orphan, anartha. So sanata, a dog without a master. So a dog with a master is very happy. So Yamuna Acharya says, very happy. What is that verse? Bhavantame vanu charam nirantara. What's the next line? No, listen. Bhavantame vanu charam nirantara. And then I forgot it. Katahame kantika nitya kinkara. That's the third line. I forgot the second line. I thought you were all great shloka learners here. Is it here? There's one place I go in Abu Dhabi and everyone's just shlokas here, there and everywhere. Okay, so this he's praying, when will I be jubilant to be prashanta, that's the second line. Bhavantame vanu charam nirantara prashanta nishesha manoratantara katame kantika nitya kinkara praharshi yashami sanata jivata. That when will that time come? Bhavantame vanu charam nirantara, when I will be always identifying myself as your servant, and all the madness of the mind becomes calmed down and peaceful. Then I will identify my Kadahame Kantika. And again it says, when will I be identified as your holy and solely, as your servant? And then Praharshi Yashami, very, very, very happy seeing you, living with you as my master. So, by discussing these things, then we can start to develop these qualities. So it's not just associating with devotees, but we can go further and think, how can we be very happy to be with devotees? Because Krishna consciousness is a happy process. We hear about the meeting of the Vrajavasis with the Dwarkavasis at Kurukshetra. They're very happy to meet each other. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meeting the devotees from Bengal. They walked all the way from Bengal to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was very happy to receive them. Hare Krishna. Thought for the day. Let us be happy in the association of devotees.